Hi, I'm Bill Collis, Bill Collis Drum Tuition. I thought we'd give you something for the beginners. There's a lot of videos out there with people playing very well, but not really explaining what they're going to do for you. If you'll excuse me reading a few tips, I've got a few tips written down here that might help you along that road. I thought firstly, always look out for a good tutor. Now a good tutor should always be there on time, be courteous, not muck you about. If they do, you should go elsewhere. You should also find a tutor that's going to show you the basic notes, rests, timing, working with clickers, everything else to do the job properly, how to hold the sticks, whatever. At the end of the day, your teacher, he or she, should show you how to do this, but it's their opinion on how they're going to do it. They shouldn't say this is the only way to do it, this is one way of doing it, and the more you learn, the more they should encourage you to try and do it your own way as long as it works. Only fix something if it needs fixing. Don't fix anything or try to fix something that doesn't need that. Make sure it works, keep it. If it doesn't, try it another way. What I'll be doing also, I'm going to show you the basics, assuming you're a beginner for the moment, of what is a quarter note, what is an eighth note, and how to put those together with either a sequencer, a track, or a clicker. Also, for you advanced guys, remember everything you do comes from your basics. Don't neglect your basics. I still do them. I've been playing 50 years. Make sure you go back on singles and doubles a lot. Use them into your playing. With your hands, with your feet. Keep good time. And again, if you're looking for a good teacher, make sure they do the job. But you've also, it's a two-way street. You've got to do your obligations. In other words, practice, be on time, and make sure you do the job well for them. Now what I'll do is I'll show you the basics of what is a quarter note. I won't try and go into things like time signatures, stickings too much. That you should do from a very good book, preferably with a teacher. The basis of a quarter note, everything I'm going to do first is a thing called 4/4 time or common time. You should keep good time, you should try and count yourself in. And a quarter note is basically, if you're doing whole bars of a quarter note, it's one single beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep it as even as you possibly can. We're going to do a thing, 6 things called stickings. Stickings are what hands, or in certain circumstances what feet you're going to use for a section. It helps you get onto the kit and also helps different types of rhythms by the way you play different sticking. I'm going to use 6 basic types of sticking. There are literally hundreds. First one will be all off the right hand, so that's single right hand, then single left hand, then single alternating. Other words, one with each hand, right to left or left to right. You should work both ways, right hand leads and left hand leads. The second one will be a double stroke, which is 2 beats with each hand, sometimes referred to as a daddy mummy roll. The next one will be a thing called a single paradiddle. Now paradiddles are where you mix singles and double strokes in together. The one we're going to do, the single paradiddle, is 2 single strokes, for example a right, a left and a double right, a left, a right and a double left. Ideal for getting onto different parts of your kit. And the third one will be a thing called a triple. Now I'm taking it over 8 notes, obviously 8 beats don't go into 3, so what happens, we do 3 rights, 3 lefts going over the bar line into a single right and left. This is what you basically get. The right hand first, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. The left, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Single alternate, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Doubles, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Paradiddle, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Triple, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You might think, why do 6 things using the same patterns? Very, very minor example why you would do that. you need to be able to use your right hand into basic rhythm. You also want to be able to use the left. Single strokes, great off your hi-hats, or anywhere. Mix singles and doubles. Paradiddle, great for getting onto different parts of your kit. If you use one stroke only, very limited. Want to do 2 beats on the snare, 2 on the floor tom, 2 on the snare, 2 on the high tom. Single strokes, fine. Until you start getting a bit quicker, then it will stick. A paradiddle, you can come across as the other hand's finishing the note. So they're all worth doing. The next thing will be an 8th note. Now an 8th note, I would take exactly the same thing as what I did with the quarters. Singles, doubles, paradiddles, triples, etc. But when you do an 8th note, you double up. You have 2 beats, we're doing what we call a pair of 8th notes. The 1, the 2, the 3 and the 4 is what we call the on beat. The and beat, which I'm going to refer to, is what we call the off beat. So you get 2 beats now played in the time of 1/4, i.e. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Now you can put all those together. This is a very minor start, and it's just the clinical way of doing it first. What I'm going to do is, in a minute I'm going to do these with a track. I'm going to do Pink Floyd's The Wall, and show you how you could use these notes to a track, using the track as a metronome, instead of using literally a clicker, which will hopefully give you a bit more heart. Learn to read a bit, but don't lose your feel. Every track you do should not be from a piece of paper, or the notes you learn from a piece of paper. They should be adapted to fit that track, and a good teacher should show you how to do that. The track we're going to do, the Pink Floyd The Wall, is based around the 8th note, which I did a moment ago on the snare drum. And 3, and 4, and. But I'm going to play that on the hi-hat, i.e. for the moment cross hand. You could also try this open hand if you're right-handed, the left hand playing the hi-hat. Straight 8th note. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Now with a track, you'll be playing a quarter note on your bass drum, i.e. 1, 2, 3, 4. The hi-hat will be playing 8th notes. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and. And we're going to put like the backbeat on the 2nd and 4th major beat of the bar with your left hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. The hi-hat is going to open on the and of the 4 and shut back on the 1. Now what you try and do is to keep the right hand going, and you bring the hi-hat up with the foot, taking the pressure off to meet the stick, and then take it down with the stick. So everything really comes from the right hand. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now if you can't do the whole thing in one, this will go for any rhythm. Break a rhythm down. Start off maybe with a hand, add a bass drum, add a hi-hat, add a left hand. Do it in the way that suits you. Don't let anyone say you can't start doing that and do that. Always do it your own way that suits you, as long as it works. You link that rhythm together and you get the basis of Pink Floyd's The Wall. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, and 3, and 4. 1. Don't forget how to do that hi-hat. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now I'm going to put the track on, and what I'll do, I'll play the basic rhythm, then I'll put the quarters and the 8s together, and I'll also do that when it hits a guitar solo. If you listen in earnest to this track, on the guitar solo, the snare drum literally stops on the 2 and only plays on the 4 to make the track even more Spartan. Stage 1 with the music. 1, 2, 1, 2, the basic rhythm. We don't need no education. We don't need no control. Try this open. Now you put the rhythm to it. So you're using the quarters. 1, 2, using it as a metronome instead of using the clicker. Bit of half, doubles, paradiddle, triple. Take the noses again. Single strokes. Double stroke. Paradiddle. Triple. Into 8th notes. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 2, and 3, and 4. Single strokes. Doubles. And fade them out. Now that is a very minor start on being able to put them together. I think it's much better if you can do things to music because it'll give you more heart when you practice. But do try and find either a good teacher, good book, take your time, learn to read a bit, it'll help you understand. But make sure whoever's teaching you has got a bit of heart in doing it.